Grandpa would smile in his gentle way and patiently answer their questions, or he would tell them stories of brave warriors, ghosts, animals, and the kids listened in awed silence. Now, kids are the friends of Cheryl. Those little guys thought Grandpa was great. Now, children love to hear stories, and especially because this old man was coming from Rosebud Reservation. Finally, one day after school, my friends came home with me because nothing I said stopped them. We are going to see the great Indian of Bellevue Drive, underline, said Hank. Hank is a friend who was supposed to be my best friend. My brother has seen him 3 times, so he oughta be well enough to see us. Now, Hank is the friend of Martin, and probably his brother is Cheryl's friend, who has already come 3 times and met the grandpa. So, Martin had been making an excuse that his grandpa is not well. Now, when we got to my house, Grandpa was sitting on the patio. He had on his red shirt, but today he also wore a fringed leather vest that was decorated with beads. Now, physical appearance of Grandpa continues. Instead of his usual cowboy boots, he had solidly beaded moccasins on his feet that stuck out of his black trousers. Of course, he had his old black hat on. He was seldom without it, but it had been brushed, and the feather in the beaded headband was proudly erect, its tip a brighter white. His hair lay in bright silver strands over the red shirt collar. I stared, just as my friends did, and I heard one of them murmur, "Wow!" So the friends are already impressed. Grandpa looked up, and when his eyes met mine, they twinkled as if he were laughing inside. He nodded to me, and my face got all hot. I could tell that he had known all along. I was afraid he would embarrass me in front of my friends. Now, Grandpa, he is an experienced old man, so he knows that what things goes on in the minds of the children, especially teenagers. We know that Martin is a teenager. "How, Hoxila's boy?" He greeted and held out his hand. My buddies passed in a single file line and shook his hand as I introduced them. They were so polite I almost laughed. "How there, Grandpa?" and even a "How do you do, sir?" "You look fine, Grandpa," I said, as the guys sat on the lawn chairs or on the patio. Now see how the boys had finally arrived in Martin's house in order to see the grandpa, and we also know he was trying to avoid as far as possible